What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, bringing you a new update to the Japan server of One Piece Treasure Cruise. We have got a new legend and a new raid boss that have been leaked. That is right, we are getting a legend GILD TESORO, which is a pretty big surprise because most of us, including myself, thought we're going to be getting a legend Capone next because we're getting a Capone forest. So the next treasure map sugo-fest is going to be Legend TESORO and his batch. Now, the raid boss we're going to be getting is Raid ZORO, incidentally. Very, very interesting stuff indeed, and I will be going over them in this video along with my thoughts and opinions about them. But let's get into Legend GILD TESORO. Now, this has been leaked on the actual official One Piece website, not the One Piece Treasure Cruise website, and this, you might be thinking it's so random that they're releasing Legend TESORO, but supposedly it's because they're commemorating or celebrating the mainstream release of the movie One Piece film GOLD on Japanese television. So, his captain ability, Legend TESORO, if you have every single class in your team, boosts the attack of all units by 3.75 times and HP by 1.35 times. Immediately, just from that, you can tell he's pretty damn strong. However, he will also boost the rate of orbs by a small amount, matching orbs that is, and after 4 consecutive greats, not perfects, 4 greats, which is interesting for me because I'm not good at hitting perfects, but neither am I good at hitting greats. But after 4 consecutive greats, boost the attack of all units by 4.5 times, which is a crazy amount. Hitting perfects reduces the attack multiplier, which is his drawback. Now, this captain ability has got a lot of people trashing him and saying he's rubbish, he's a bad version of Judge, or he's not strong, etc, etc, and I'll go into that a little bit later on. His special will deal 200,000 fixed damage to all enemies, and he will change the top and bottom row orbs into matching and lock the chain multiplier to 3.25 times for 1 turn. So Legend TESORO is bringing new heights to the game, a new highest chain multiplier and a new highest captain ability attack multiplier of 4.5 times, although it is a given that it is a conditional. So Legend TESORO, what are my thoughts? A lot of people are saying one massive downfall for him is that he is super restrictive. I personally disagree with that. It's the same thing with V2 Shanks. When he was leaked, everyone was saying he's going to be rubbish, he's so restrictive. It's completely not the case. A rainbow captain that has a restriction that's actually very broad, in my opinion, is still pretty damn awesome. It's very similar to Lucy. Lucy is restricting you to 3 types. TESORO is restricting you to basically every single class in the game, and you have to bring at least 1 of every single class in the game. However, he already eliminates as himself as a captain 2 of the 8 required, so you only need 6 classes from 4 units. And I don't think that is that difficult to do, considering the fact that we have so many units now that do rainbow specials that boost everyone on the team as opposed to a specific class. I think this Legend TESORO is not going to have any problems looking for subs and specific teams. Boost the rate of matching orbs is similar to Rayleigh as well, V2 Rayleigh, I like that. But after 4 consecutive greats, now obviously if you're hitting greats, you're doing a lot less damage than hitting a perfect. I believe hitting a great is around or maybe over 30% less damage than hitting a perfect. Now that in itself is a bit of a drawback, but that is why he has a, pretty busted chain multiplier for his special, and he goes up to a 4.5 times attack boost. So the way I see it is, for mini bosses with a 3.75 times attack boost, I'm assuming your attack boost is probably going to go down for every single perfect you hit to like a 3.5 to a 3.25 to 3 times to a 2.75 times to a 2.5 times, something like that. I don't think it's going to be something insane where we lose tons of attack multiplier per hit, and therefore it's not going to be too big of a problem dealing with mini bosses or mob stages, because you'll still have over a 3 times attack multiplier most of the time, and that's just easy peasy stuff there. But the consecutive greats on the boss stage, it's very important to first reserve your judgment, because we don't know how much the attack multiplier actually decreases by. My guess is that it's not going to be too much and not too significant. 0.25 is what I'm expecting it to be for every single perfect you do hit, but after 4 consecutive greats on a 3.25 times chain multiplier, I don't think is too big of a deal, because at the end of the day, I don't feel like the meta in Japan right now relies too heavily on damage. If your unit or your team can hit over 8 million damage, which this TESORO 100% can do well over 10 million damage. If your unit can hit, or your team can hit over 8 million damage to all colors, you're not going to be having any problems with damage whatsoever. This is why I don't like it when people are like, oh, look how much damage this team does. The highest HP in the game is 10 million. That's Invasion Garb, and you can even kill Invasion Garb over 2 or 3 turns. So 10 million damage is most of the time redundant in most cases. It doesn't matter how much damage a team does, as long as it breaks, in my opinion, the 8 million mark, which is where we're looking at for difficult content on Japan right now. Now obviously special deal 200,000 fixed damage to all enemies. That's always a nice bonus. That's, you know, pretty much for easy mini boss stages, or for easy content, easy to medium level content where there's lots of mobs. Change top and bottom row orbs into matching is also okay. It doesn't manipulate block orbs, which is not as good as, for example, V2 Shanks or Kainu V2 or Aokiji V2, which give you a full border matching orbs and then a boost on top of that. And then he's obviously got the 3.25 times for 1 turn. His special is quite similar to Rayleigh, same amount of fixed damage, but he does it to all enemies. His orb manipulation is not full board, but he does give matching a lot easier than Rayleigh. Rayleigh, you need to be under 30% HP to have that V2 Rayleigh. And then obviously his chain multiplier is higher by 0.25 times. And people might be thinking it's not that big of a difference, 3.25 to 3 times difference. It's a big difference, guys. A chain lock is a really, really big thing, especially even 0.25 times is a huge amount of extra damage. You're going to be talking about millions here, especially now we've got stuff like color affinity boost, conditional boost, self-conditional boosters. Very easy boosts that are, you know, not too difficult to come by now. The 4.5 times attack boost is a crazy amount, and obviously with the last 2 hits you're going to be doing most likely hitting perfects, and that means one unit is going to have a 4.5 times attack boost from one TESORO, or in fact 2 4.5 times attack boosts. My maths is not good enough to know how much that number is off the top of my head, but that's a big ass multiplier. That's the biggest multiplier for attack in the game right now. And then your second unit is probably going to have a double 4 times attack multiplier or a double 4.25 times attack multiplier, and that is definitely more than enough damage to basically kill anybody right now. So I think this Legend TESORO, currently right now, he is being wrongly bashed on. We don't know what his batch does yet. His synergy with his batch is most likely going to be absolutely crazy. He is going to come with a batch. We don't know what his batch is yet, but it does say on the website that the sugo-fest will be releasing the GILD TESORO Pirates. I don't know what their pirate crew is actually called, but his batch will be coming as well. So I'm excited for that. The thick units that we are waiting for are obviously Baccarat and Nami's friend that, you know, she betrayed Nami and then they kiss and make up and blah blah blah. I forgot her name. Corina, something like that. But let's move on to Legend Raid ZORO. So Raid ZORO, he is a quick unit and he is a driven slasher unit. We don't know what Legend TESORO is yet, but Raid ZORO is a quick driven slasher. Now his sailor ability, I'm not sure what it's hinting at, but his sailor ability is if you hit a good or a great, you're able to keep your orb. Now this could just be hinting at that he's meant to be a sub for V2 Fujitora, which I'm pretty sure he is. But if TESORO is, for example, you know, driven slasher or something like that, and his team mostly utilizes driven units or a specific type of class along with all the secondary classes as a, you know, just a side thing to fulfill his condition, then maybe we might be moving into a new meta where hitting goods and greats are the way forward. We don't know yet. I'm not sure what to expect, but his captain ability for a free-to-play unit, guys, he is freaking awesome. He will be released on the 20th of May, and he will be half stamina. There's a lot of Chopper Man missions which make him easy to farm. Obviously, you've got 4 times skill up as well. Max him now. He's going to be easy to max now with the special ship as well. Max him absolutely right now when he comes out on the 20th. He's only 30 stamina for a 60 stamina version because half stamina. But let's get into his ability. Sorry about the babbling. His captain ability, boost the attack of slashers and driven units by 2.75 times and HP by 1.2 times. Now, if you're a global player, hopefully that resonates with you in the fact that how much of a power creep Japan has moved on to now that we're getting free-to-play raid units, not even Colosseum, not even treasure map mode units, which boost 2 different classes by 2.75 times and has a HP boost on top of that. But it doesn't finish there. After 2 consecutive perfects, 3 times attack, and after 5 consecutive perfects, 3.3 times attack. And this is just a raid boss unit. That's the power creep, guys. That is the power creep, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And the content is going to get harder and harder and harder, but I hope it follows the trend of where free-to-play units are getting more powerful and more powerful. For example, Treasure Map Ace is a freaking busted unit. Raid Bato is a busted unit. This Raid ZORO is looking pretty damn busted. And of course, Dofi V2, which Global has and Japan still does not have, is also a pretty busted unit. His special will deal 55 times attack and typeless damage to one enemy that bypasses all defenses. Only to one enemy, and it's only around 80,000, 90,000, 100,000 attack. 100,000 damage. It's not too big, but it's still always nice to have. Reduce 5 turns of damage threshold and damage reduction. So I believe that is the rainbow shield, and also damage threshold is the one where it's cut, like you can only hit, like you have a 97% damage reduction on any damage above 20,000, something like that. It's quite common these days, so that's a pretty nice special there. For 2 turns, boost the color affinity of normal attacks from driven and slasher units by 1.75 times, and that's for 2 turns. However, if you activate this special at full HP, boost by 2 times for 1 turn instead. Now, I'm not sure if activating at full HP replaces the 2 turns and you only get the 1 turn of 2 times color affinity boost. I'm not sure how that works, but the 2 turns boost for 1.75 times is still very nice. And very evidently, we're getting a lot more color affinity boosters, color affinity not stacking with conditional, so we're getting a ton of different damage boosting specials these days, which is why I'm saying damage is one of the most irrelevant things nowadays. Almost every single team can do well over 6 million damage to all colors, and any new legend that's been released since, for example, Lucy, does well over 10 million damage to all types anyway, so I really think damage is not that valid of an argument anymore. It's just the base standard now these days. But yeah, this raid Zoro, with that sailor ability as well, he gets to keep his quick orb if he hits a good or a great. It's pretty much designed for V2 Fuji. He's also a decent sub for Dofi V2 driven teams, and he'll also make a pretty nice sub for driven teams, for example for Judge as well. So I'm excited to see where he's going to be used. Overall, I think these 2 new units are very fantastic. They're fantastic, very good units. And I'm very happy to see that they've introduced another very good free-to-play unit, because free-to-play teams, I believe, are still viable with the Treasure Map Ace or these Treasure Map Mode units. I'm excited to see what Big Mom does. We don't know yet. I'm very excited. But yeah, from the 20th of May, which I believe is before the Treasure Map Big Mom starts. Hopefully it is, because I don't want that to clash and overlap. He's going to be half stamina, guys. Please do farm him now. Half stamina, chopper map missions, which give you around 15 copies of Zoro as well. And with the 4x skill up, he's going to be an easy peasy max skill if you can clear him. Also, even on the 40 stamina, if you can do it, just do it. It's absolutely worth it. It's easy stuff. It doesn't cost too much stamina, and he's a fantastic unit, especially if you're a free-to-play player. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, especially about Legend Guild TESORO. I'm excited to see what you guys think. I really think this is another case of V2 Shanks. When he was first leaked, there was hardly anyone praising him. I'm going to be the hipster and say that when he came out, I said in the video I think he's really good and I really like him. Same thing with Guild TESORO. I don't think he's going to be the best legend in the game. I don't think he's going to be the best captain in the game, but I do think he's going to be like a top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8, around there. One of the better captains in the game, especially in this power creep meta, and I think he's going to be showing us some new interesting mechanics. But he is definitely not a legend that I would like to play with. For example, V2 Kainu and this guy, Legend TESORO. Any legend that is very dependent on you hitting a certain type of combo, whether it's goods, greats, perfects, or specifically perfects, or specifically greats, I'm not into that kind of legend. I don't think those legends are busted in any way, because I would say those legends are the ones which are the most challenging legends to play with, because I wouldn't say high risk, but it's got a risk and reward mechanic with it. And I do like that. I think that's good for a lot of players, because I think loads of players like to play with a challenge. For me, it's not brain dead enough. Even if you only have to hit greats, it's not brain dead enough for me to consider it as one of the best legends in the game, but I do think it is a very strong legend. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day, and bye-bye.